Ever felt that chill morning rumble from your car? That impulse to just get going. Well, what if I told you that first minute, that specific routine you have, it could be secretly slashing it like 25,000, maybe even 40,000 kilometers off your engine's life. Seriously, so many engines, they just meet a premature end. And it's because of simple, often, well-intentioned mistakes made right after a cold start. Today, we're taking a deep dive. We're looking into the hidden truths, the golden rules for starting your car right. It's about uncovering some surprising mechanical realities and, simple habits that can save you massive headaches and money down the road.
It is shocking, isn't it? And it's funny how many common beliefs, especially around starting your engine, are actually, counterproductive for modern engines. That statistic you mentioned, while it sounds jarring, it's firmly backed up by the data we've looked at. Our mission today really is to show you that data, but maybe more importantly, help you understand the why behind it. Turn that intuition into, informed action for your car.
Yeah, okay. So the first piece of advice, though, our sources just completely flip on its head.
Yeah.
Something loads of us do. Or maybe our parents did. The myth of the long warm-up idle. Start the car, let it sit there. Driveway, 10, 15 minutes sometimes. Usually to being gentle, letting it get ready. It feels like the right thing.
It does feel right. But what's really fascinating, mechanically speaking, is it's the exact opposite for your engine's health. See, when your engine's cold, it runs on what's called a rich fuel mixture.
Rich, meaning?
More gasoline, less air. Think of it like, getting a cold campfire going. You need extra fuel at first. So as your car just sits there idling, especially for a long time, some of that unburnt excess fuel, it actually seeps past the cold piston rings.
Because they haven't expanded yet under the heat.
Exactly. They haven't sealed perfectly yet. So that raw fuel drips right down into your engine oil.
Whoa. So it's not just wasting fuel, it's actually contaminating the oil, actively harming it.
Precisely. That's what we call fuel dilution. It thins out your oil, like adding water to your coffee, It just weakens it. It seriously compromises the oil's ability to lubricate properly. And get this, an engine at idle. It produces very little heat. I've seen data, cars taking nearly 20 minutes just sitting still to reach operating temp.
20 minutes?
Yeah, so you're not even warming it up efficiently. You're creating pollution, you're damaging your oil, shortening component life, all for basically no benefit. It's one of the most pervasive and harmful myths out there, according to the data we've got.
Okay, that's huge. So if idling too long is bad, then surely the opposite, immediately stomping on the gas, that's got to be worse, right? The floor is fallacy, as we're calling it?
Yeah.
The impatient driver mistake.
Oh, absolutely. If idling is like a slow poison, then flooring a cold engine, that's pure mechanical torture. It's a fast track to some serious internal damage.
Yeah.
Think about it. Metal expands with heat. Simple physics. Your engine's insides, pistons, cylinder walls, all that stuff, they're engineered to fit perfectly together at their normal operating temperature, maybe 90, 100 degrees Celsius, around there. When they're cold, they are physically smaller. Just slightly, but enough. So revving it hard, you're forcing these shrunken, ill-fitting parts to slam against each other under huge pressure.
Ouch. So that rattling or knocking sound you sometimes hear when an engine's really cold. That's actually...
it's often piston slap. It's the literal sound, of the piston not quite the right size yet, knocking against the cylinder wall. Imagine like a slightly loose part rattling around. Do that enough times, and you're basically guaranteeing yourself future problems. Spored cylinder walls, worn piston rings, eventually, an engine that burns oil, and the repair bill for that. You don't even want to think about it. It's direct accelerated wear.
Okay, so we've got the don't idle too long and the don't floor it cold, big ones. But what about the sneakier stuff?
Yeah.
The things that cause damage slowly over time. Like using your car just for constant short trips before the engine really gets warm. This feels so normal, doesn't it? Popping to the shops, quick errand.
It really does feel harmless, but this raises a huge point about how we actually use our cars day to day. You start it up, drive, say, 3 minutes to the corner store, shut it off. Later, another 5-minute trip. It seems fine, but it's like a slow poison for the motor. Because during these short hops, your engine never gets properly hot.
Not hot enough to, burn stuff off?
Exactly. Not hot enough to burn off the condensation water and the fuel contaminants that naturally build up in the oil. Water is a natural byproduct of combustion. Normally, when the engine's hot, it evaporates, gets vented out, no problem. But on short trips, that water just stays in the oil.
Ugh. So you end up with watery, fuel-thinned oil. That sounds awful for protection.
It is. Over time, this mix of water, unburnt fuel, and oil, it can turn into this thick, gooey sludge. Think of it like, well, plaque building up in your engine's arteries. It clogs tiny oil passages, starves critical parts of lubrication. Plus, that moisture leads to corrosion, rust basically on internal metal surfaces. So, the big picture takeaway. Try to combine your errands, make one longer trip instead of several short ones. Let the engine get fully warm. It's not just efficient for your time, it's crucial for your engine's health. It lets the oil get hot enough to clean itself, essentially.
Right, which brings us to the oil itself. You mentioned sludge lubrication. Our sources really hammer home the importance of the oil itself, not just having enough oil, but the right kind of oil, especially the viscosity in cold weather. Lots of people probably overlook this, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's a critical detail. So when your engine's cold, the oil is thick. Like, think trying to pour honey that's been in the fridge.
Yeah, slow going.
Very slow. And in those first few seconds after you turn the key, before the oil has circulated properly, your engine is running with minimal lubrication. The oil pump is really fighting to push that thick, sluggish fluid through all the tiny passages to get it to the top of the engine. And during that brief period, that's when a huge percentage of an engine's total lifetime wear happens. Metal on metal contact.
Wow. So using an oil that's thicker than recommended just makes that initial dry start problem way worse.
10 times worse,
You know.
potentially. The pump struggles even more. That's why sticking to the manufacturer's specified viscosity, like a 5W30 or a 0W20, whatever your manual says, it's absolutely non-negotiable. It ensures the oil can flow quickly even when cold to protect those vital parts right from the start. And hey, speaking of useful info, if you are finding these tips helpful, maybe do us a quick favor. Tap that like button down below. It genuinely helps us make more content like this to help you keep your car running longer.
Good point. Okay, so what about turbocharged engines? More and more cars have them now. Our sources flag these as a special case. Same rules apply, but the stakes are higher. Why is that? Just the complexity.
Yeah, complexity and sheer speed. A turbocharger, it's an incredible piece of engineering. It can spin at over 200,000 RPM.
200,000, that's insane.
It is. And it absolutely relies on a constant pressurized supply of clean engine oil. Not just for lubrication, but for cooling too. Those bearings get incredibly hot. So when you start the engine cold, that turbo, it's just as starved for oil as the rest of the engine in those first few seconds. Revving it hard before that oil is warm and flowing properly. That's pretty much a death sentence for a turbo. The speed plus the lack of lubrication just shreds those delicate bearings.
Okay, so extra gentle is the key for turbo cars on a cold start.
Definitely. And actually, while we're talking turbos, it's related to hot shutdowns too. After you've driven hard, that turbo is glowing hot. If you just shut the engine off immediately, the oil sitting in the turbo's lines basically cooks, turns into carbon deposits, clogs things up, destroys bearings. It's all part of the same idea. Give the oil time to do its job, whether it's warming up or cooling down. For cold starts in a turbo car, extra gentleness. Let it get up to temp before you even think about asking for boost.
Right. So we've busted the myths. We've looked at the damage from idling, from flooring it, from short trips, wrong oil, turbos. After all this, what not to do? What's the simple, correct routine? The 30-second rule our sources talk about sounds almost too simple after all that.
It really is incredibly easy, and the data backs it up. Step 1, start the engine. That's it. Don't touch the gas pedal, just let it start and settle. The idle might be a bit high at first, that's normal. Step 2, wait, about 30 seconds, maybe up to 60 if it's really cold. You really don't need any longer. And the point here isn't to warm the whole engine up, it's purely about giving the oil pump enough time. Time to get that oil from the pan, down at the bottom, circulated all the way to the top.
So that brief pause is just for oil circulation, making sure everything's coated before you ask it to work.
Exactly that. Get that life-saving oil everywhere it needs to be. Then, step 3, start driving. But, and this is the crucial bit, drive gently. Keep the revs low. Ideally below, say, 2,500 RPM. Avoid heavy acceleration, no flooring it. Just drive smoothly until you see the temperature gauge climb up into its normal operating range. That's it.
Start, wait 30, 60 seconds, drive gently.
That's the formula. That simple process is the single best thing you can do based on everything we've seen to help your engine live a long, healthy life. It's a tiny habit. Pays off massively down the road.
So, okay, what this means for you, listening right now, it's just a few simple changes.
Okay.
Takes less than a minute each time you start your car. And it could save you thousands in potential repairs, add tens of thousands of kilometers to your vehicle's life. It's about being smart, being informed. Not just being gentle, but being effectively gentle. It's like learning the secret handshake for your engine, right?
Really is. And it just highlights how much is going on inside that machine we rely on every day. A little understanding, it goes a long, long way. It should make us question those common assumptions. Rely on the actual mechanical facts, what's really happening under the hood. The data's clear. Small, informed changes make a huge difference.
So the next time you get into your car on a chilly morning, that immediate instinct to hit the gas, or will you maybe embrace that powerful engine-saving silence just for 30 seconds?
Yeah, and maybe think about this too. How many other habits do we have? Things we do every day based on old info or just intuition, instead of really understanding the why. It's a good reminder, I think, to always keep learning, keep digging deeper, even about the things we think we know best.